Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
Hey, girlfriends.
Hey, great girlfriends.
What is going on out there in Great Girlfriend world?
You know what I was just thinking, Sybil?
What?
Do we actually discuss laughter?
You know what? We laugh a lot, but we don't actually discuss laughter. So why do we say that?
I don't know.
We've been saying that from the beginning. And no one, girlfriends, you have never corrected us on that. We don't talk about laughter.
I just heard it. I was like, wait a minute. We don't discuss laughter. Hilarious.
Should we take it out? I like it, though.
No, we'll keep it in. We'll keep it in.
All those L's.
Yeah, I'll keep it in.
Okay, so can I just do an Instagram check on you?
Go ahead.
I don't see any, like one picture from this weekend. I don't see my face on your Instagram.
You know what I was, Sybil, what I was thinking about was that we were together almost the entire day on Saturday, and we took no pictures.
We took no pictures. Okay, girlfriends, if you follow Brandis at Brandis Daniel, which you should, because her Instagram is so cute, because you see Sky, like, holding down meetings and doing her little, what's she doing, her snorting?
Yes. No, girl, that's her sniffing.
Her sniffing is so cute. But I only see myself, like, in doses. And it makes it look like I'm not your true great girlfriend.
Let me tell you something. I'm trying a new strategy with my Instagram. So it's all planned out right now.
How did you plan me out of it, though? How did I get cut from the plan?
You are not cut from the plan. I believe you're on like
Instagram. I am.
You are like on row 3 of my Instagram. I'm pretty sure.
Gosh, that's so long ago.
But I'm sitting here trying to do no carbs, and I'm looking at your Instagram, and I'm like, that pizza, I want it. What was that?
We went by Blaze Pizza for date day.
Girl, that pizza looked so good. This is killing me.
At my Instagram, you would think all I do is I stay at home and just smother my kids.
Girl.
I look like a stay-at-home mom, right?
You do not look like a stay-at-home mom. This pizza, though. Ugh.
It was so good.
Guys, you have to, it's on Sybil's Instagram. It's Sybil_Amuti. And that pizza, I'm doing paleo now, and this pizza situation is really, really, really got me craving some.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, girlfriends, we had such a mega amazing weekend, Brandis and I. I mean, I could say I felt like it was a really good one.
Girl, this weekend was so incredible for me, and I needed every bit of it.
Yes. It was full of rest, relaxation, great girlfriend power. It was everything. And I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate and shout out Tiffany R. Warren.
Yes.
We had the pleasure of celebrating her birthday this weekend at the Gee compound. And it was just fantastic.
It was so amazing. Happy birthday, Tiffany.
Happy birthday, Tiffany.
It was so awesome.
Every detail of the barbecue was amazing. First of all, the food was dynamic. First of all. Second of all, Michelle welcomed us all into her amazing home. And the kids the kids went from the pool to the trampoline to tennis to basketball, back to the pool. Brandis, they stayed in the pool for like 4.5 hours.
That's hilarious.
Then they closed out with fireworks.
Oh my God, I missed the fireworks.
And then the kids had marshmallows by the bonfire.
Oh!
So I posted a picture of the kids by the bonfire. It was so much fun.
I saw that. I was like, oh. I had to leave. Rich and Sky had to leave the party early because we had to go celebrate Miss Nora's 2nd birthday.
Yes, I saw the pictures.
She was so cute. But yes, girl, that looked like so much fun. No, Saturday, Sybil, we actually started our day at the Amuti compound.
Yeah, we did. He started at my house.
Doing a video shoot on love for the Hope Dealer.
Yes, that's going to be airing in a couple of weeks, and we'll be sharing it on social, just talking about the power of love. It was fun to shoot.
It was really fun. And then Sybil and I did like a little test HSN video.
Y'all know we got goals, right? So I'm just going to put it out there.
Put it out there, Sybil.
Because what we realize is there is a lot of magic behind the hosting capabilities that we share. So Brandis and I thought it would be fantastic to be either on HSN or QVC selling products, because we know that we can promote Great Girlfriend Power if we were on one of those networks doing that. So that's one of our personal goals, with the larger goal of moving into selling our own collection and our own products on one of the networks. So if you have connections, if you have relationships, if you want to see your products fly off the shelf, Brandis and I would love to be there to facilitate that.
We got all kind of goodies in store.
Y'all just better call us up quick. That's all I'm saying. And Oprah, if you happen to be listening, Oprah, Brandis and I would love to talk to you about some media placement on the O Network. I'm just saying.
I think we're ready for it. So we got all kind of good stuff planned, Great Girlfriends, and we're excited just about the stuff that we have coming up. It's going to be really, really, really cool. Our next thing we have coming up is actually the Restoration Weekend.
Yes.
And we actually posted a flyer, I believe, on our Instagram, so check that out at the Great Girlfriends. But we're actually going to be, I think, hosting a talk.
Yep, we'll be having hosting a panel conversation around the power of great girlfriendship. And Restoration Weekend is September 29th through October 3rd in the British Virgin Islands. We got flights for like $350, $375, yes. Right?
Yep.
Did you get your flight? Tell the truth.
Okay, so Sybil.
Working on it. Girl,
No. I just sent an email to Alicia today and said, Alicia, please get this flight.
Brandis is going to be taking a gypsy bus. Over to the British Virgin Islands.
Oh, God.
Her flights. So definitely check out Restoration Weekend. It's www.restorationwknd.com. And when you register, first of all, let me tell you, you have to register. You have to be there. It's a very small group of women. It's going to be so intimate and so amazing. When you register, make sure that you mention the Great Girlfriends, and we are excited. We can't wait to see you there.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to miss you because Labor Day weekend, I'm going on behalf of Prudential.
Yes.
The Black Enterprise Golf and Tennis Challenge in Palm Beach.
That's going to be so, it's all good. I'm going to miss you too, but you're going to hold it down for the Great Girlfriends. So.
Oh, I got to. We're going to have so much fun. So Prudential has invited the Great Girlfriends to come out and host a conversation there. And, it's going to be like Erica without Tina.
I know.
No?
I have a wedding in Cancun that weekend. However, you got this.
I got this. I might Skype
have somebody Skype me in.
We'll Skype you in. That's what we'll
so
do.
I can be a part of it.
Yes.
I can listen in.
We're still working out details, but girlfriends, if you're listening to this, you need to get to AdColor. AdColor.org, dynamic conference hosted in Boca Raton, Florida. It's September 18th through 21st, and it's a diversity conference where they talk about making a difference in the advertising industry, but it's all types of panel conversations, great speakers, and inclusion conversations about being noticed and celebrating color and reaching back to find others, and just all about creating integration and opportunity in advertising, but even in your own industry. So adcolor.org, we're so very excited because Tiffany R. Warren is the founder, the creator, and the mastermind behind AdColor. But I think it would be fantastic for her to see Great Girlfriends out celebrating AdColor turning 10 this year and joining her at the conference. So make sure you check it out, www.adcolor.org. Tell Tiffany R. Warren that the Great Girlfriend sent you.
Yes. I was trying to find the episode that Tiffany's on so that I can share that.
Oh, yes.
With Tiffany. The Great Girlfriends, if they want to go back and check out Tiffany R. Warren and get to know her a little bit more as the founder of AdColor. So I'll give you guys that in just a momento. So, Sybil, what are we talking about today?
Pen and paper. Everyone, stop where you are. Pull over.
You always telling people to grab pen and paper.
Pull over. Get your pen and paper.
Oh, I have it. Hold on. It's episode 29. Tiffany R. Warren is on episode 29. So go back and check that out. Okay. Cool.
No, because when Brandon spit that hot fire, you want to jot it down. You got to be ready.
No, y'all, so funny. Saturday, so we're recording for, we're doing a video on love for the Hope Dealer. And he was asking, like, what love was or something, or what love does for you. And I gave an answer. And Sybil's sitting right beside me, and she goes, yes.
Y'all, this is what she said. I should have had pen and paper, but I didn't. She goes, love is redemptive. And she did it with like a Maya Angelou voice. And I was like, I couldn't even control it.
We both fell out laughing in the middle of the recording because I felt that.
It hit my bones.
God.
I was like, it is redemptive. And the way she said it, y'all, with that grandmother power, kind of like Cicely Tyson power. A little more body to it.
You know when Cicely Tyson says something, you got to listen. It's like a...
Listen.
She says it's slow. She says it's real slow.
She says slow. It's so eloquent. And Brandis was like, love is redemptive. I was like, yes, it is. Get it, Brandis.
You're so crazy. What are you talking about today, Sybil?
Preacher?
Sybil, that's my mother.
That's what I should have said.
Sybil, what are we talking about today?
Okay, pen and paper, girlfriends, as we discussed today, 5 ways to tap into your femininity.
Ooh.
5 ways to tap into your femininity. And this conversation can get very uncomfortable if femininity is something that you're not, in touch with, if it's something that you don't talk about, if it's something that you've never grown accustomed to, if you weren't trained by your mom or by other women in your life to explore your femininity. This conversation can get very awkward and uncomfortable, but I can't tell you how critical, how essential it is for us to learn how to properly tap into our femininity as women. Right, Brandis?
Absolutely. I'm excited about it. This is going to be good.
Too. So what we know about women is that femininity is something that, gets challenged often, right? Even by women. Are we too feminine? Is she feminine enough? Is she too feminine on the job? Is she too masculine on the job? Is she wearing a mask? Does she feel like she has, all the questions that come around femininity, and it makes it hard for women to identify with their own femininity.
It's so true. And honestly, Sib, like when you're like grinding and trying to be ambitious and move forward in your life constantly, sometimes you forget to stop and tap into your femininity.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I think what happens sometimes is women, structurally, we conform and we tap into the norm so much in an effort for us to be able to sustain our own position. It could even be at work. If we're in a male-dominated industry, we want to be perceived as powerful. We put on a powerful mask, and that's what we see from other people. But most of the time, those people around us that we see that mask from are men. So we end up putting on a masculine mask, which means that we're minimizing or devaluing femininity and the role that it can play in our power. So I think it's become very complex for us. And as we progressed in the years, I think women have learned how to tap more into their sexuality and their sensuality, but not necessarily their femininity. So today, Brandis and I wanted to get a little bit deeper into this conversation because more and more as we go out and we meet great girlfriends, we hear women talking about how hard it is for them to be feminine or feel feminine without feeling like they're going to be abused or being taken advantage of. Right, Brandis?
Absolutely. I think a lot of the challenge, honestly, with truly tapping into our femininity is exactly what you just said. Like, is somebody going to take advantage of us? Are people going to perceive us as weak? And some of us have had our femininity already taken advantage of. And so we say, because of that, I'm not going to be that way anymore because I don't want the same thing that happened then to ever happen again.
Absolutely. And then we don't want to give over control. It's, if I walk in my femininity, if I celebrate the womanliness of my body and who I am, does that mean that my control is going to be given over to a man because men are perceived to be stronger than we are?
Right.
And so it makes it very complex for women, especially when we're single, to strike a balance between, I mean, I won't say that. I'll retract that statement and say, because I think it's even more complicated too when you're married.
Oh, yes.
Learning how to celebrate and own the quality of being female. Because just so you guys know, Webster says femininity is the quality of being female. Girl, that quality in itself.
Yeah.
That quality, that word quality of being female, the womanliness, celebrating your femininity, meaning the quality, it can go so deep and it can be so diverse. Because my femininity, Brandis, looks different from yours.
It looks totally different from mine. And mine looks totally different from yours.
Femininity. Brandis' femininity said, yeah, I'm going. Look at Brandis. Y'all can see the way she's looking at me. Brandis don't move without her lip, right? Part of her femininity is her lip. Where is my lip? I got to find my lip. She don't move. We could be running to the corner store. I mean, where's my lip? She feel like she don't even breathe right without lipstick on. And I know that this is part of her femininity because she gets so fluttery after she has her pink or her red, whatever her lip on. It's one component of her femininity that matters to her. And I think it's so amazing because she will stop everything.
Shut up, Sybil.
Won't you stop everything? Yes, she will, y'all. She'll stop everything.
Someone wants me to be on camera without a lip, and that's not something I'm comfortable with.
But every woman has a different way of celebrating the quality of what makes us female.
That's so true.
Or there are women that have not found the ways to celebrate the quality of what makes us female.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, it was a very long journey. I'll say personally, I grew up, my mom, when I say feminine, everything was just feminine, fluttery, airy, floral, pink, dainty, light, lipstick, hair, just bouncy, just all of that when I was a girl. But that wasn't really the type of girl I was. So I was very much a tomboy. And I think it was hard for my mom and my sisters to adjust to the fact that I was a tomboy. There were things that they loved that I didn't like. And so my mom would put a dress on me and I would just find a way to get dirty. I would just find a way. I would find a way. And for years, it was like a war. She wore my ponytails. I pulled the bows out, everything. I couldn't stand the socks with the ruffles. I couldn't stand the petticoats, Easter dresses. I just wasn't into any of that stuff for many years. And I thought there was something wrong because I was a different type of feminine. I was the type of girl who liked a little dirt. I liked mini skirts, but I didn't like fluttery skirts. And I didn't like all those things. It took me years to come to accept the quality of my type of feminine, which has a little more edge. I like to wear high top, sky high Nikes, I like Converse. Right. I like skirts too, but I'm not necessarily always in lipstick. I don't always have my hair, curls perfect. I'm not the type of girl that's like always, concerned with looks or whatever, people define. But my femininity comes across in a different way. And my sisters and my mom had to really adjust to it, and I had to adjust to it. Now here I am, a mom and a wife. I have a girl who is pink.
Yeah.
She is pink in every way. She's so much more in touch with her femininity that I wonder sometimes if I missed out on some pink days when I was a kid. Because I look at Dylan, and everything about Dylan is celebrates the quality of the woman that's inside of this little bitty girl. And so I'm learning more and more about this other level of femininity because it looks different for me now.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? So when I was younger, I was the one who loved the dresses, who loved the socks with the ruffles, who loved I could not wait to wear my hair down. Like, I used to sneak it down at school. I could not wait to get lip gloss with tint in it because my mother said I couldn't have lipstick. So I would find the lip gloss with tint in it. I couldn't wait to polish my nails red. But at the same time, I was also the little girl who would do flips on her bike. Who would go and put the worms on the fishing rod. I was also the one who would do all the boy stuff with my dad. So, but I feel like my life went through a transition when I had just a strong situation that was just so hurtful happen in my life. And I feel like that in some sense, I had to be so tough to get through that I feel like I lost some of my femininity.
Yeah.
And that happened in my I would say my mid-20s. And then, you know, I found myself trying to get it back a little bit, and then starting a business and going through the hustle and the grind of entrepreneurship. And honestly, my focus, I didn't even have time to think about like what's going on with Brandis, because I was so worried about, you know, what's going on with my 9 to 5, then what's going on with school, and what's going on with my business. I was doing all three at the same time. So I feel like I kind of lost my way there too. And for me now, even as a mom, I almost feel like I have to really be intentional about tapping into that. About, you know, somebody, oh God, I can't remember who said this to me, but they said their husband was like, why did the world get Halle Berry and I get and I get Wanda from Martin?
Oh my God. That's amazing.
But I have to be careful that I'm not giving the world Halle Berry.
Absolutely.
And giving Rich Wanda from Martin, you know?
Yes.
So it really is a very intentional thing for me now, because there's so many things in my life that I have to care for, that I have to make sure that I'm actually caring for Brandis.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting, when you start talking about, you know, emotional trauma or things that shift how you are able to connect with your femininity. When I went through the trauma that I went through in my early 20s, I lost connection with my emotional health, like myself, my well-being. And I tapped more into sensuality, which I thought was femininity. And it's part of being feminine is knowing how to be sensual and having a sexual side, but it's not a driver for femininity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I lost contact with the emotional power that we share as women that allow us to be really great women, and being vulnerable.
Yes.
And what that looks like. And I tapped into the sensual sexual side, which said, I have an alluring side that I want to explore, but it was never the right way. And so to the point that when I met Kwaku, and I think I told you guys how he broke up with me 3 times, but like on the second or third breakup, he's like, you're a robot. Like, you're out of touch emotionally. He said the most cruel things, y'all, just straight up. I'm going to make sure he ain't listening. He was like, you need help. You know, you're out of touch with yourself emotionally. And I was so offended by everything he was saying, because I was like, you don't know how far I've come. Like, for you to even know me enough to say that about me is like miles. But he didn't even understand. I was growing in vulnerability, and I had given him all I had. And even then, it wasn't enough for what I needed to do to share with another person. And a lot of times as women, we say, I'm vulnerable and I'm giving of myself. But a relationship or the people in your life, life is calling for more. And we have to step up to it. And we're at that defining moment, right? Where we're like, I can make a choice here. I can get offended by this man who is...
Girl, you better say that, Sybil.
I mean, seriously.
Because remember...
I can get offended. You know, I could be offended by this, and I can walk away and say, he's just like all the other men, and he's not the one for me, and he's missing it, and he doesn't know me, and he's judgmental. A whole bunch of stuff I was feeling, and I could cuss and do all that. Or I could step up to the challenge of what my life is calling for me at this moment and walk into it.
Yes. That
was power for me.
I told you when I met Rich after that year, and I had that breakdown in the car. I mean, long story short, I was headed to the airport to go to Memphis for Christmas, and did not want to go to Memphis, which is, when I tell you guys, so much unlike me.
Yeah.
So much unlike me. And he was trying to figure out, because he knew it was so much unlike me, Brandis, why? Why are you feeling this way? Get to the airport was nothing but God, because I got there and it said, you're a day early for your flight. The flight had been canceled because I was going through Chicago and there was bad weather there. So because I was like so upset in the car, he didn't just drop me off. He was like, I'm going to go park and come in and just make sure you get off, okay. Mm-hmm. And when we got in the car to head back home, he was like, we're not getting out the car until you tell me what's wrong. And I end up telling him what was wrong. And it was that I can't leave the great girlfriends hanging. You know, we tell you guys every doggone thing. But I did not want to go home because home reminded me of my ex that had committed suicide during very close to the Christmas holidays. And he told me that if we're going to move forward, you have to go get therapy. That's actually rude.
It's very rude. Don't tell us to get help, but you actually went. Good for you. Good for you.
How you gonna go tell somebody in order for us to move forward, you gotta go get therapy? What? What? Who does that?
Oh my gosh. Who does that? They're crazy. They're both crazy. They're crazy. It worked though.
It worked. And I did, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Quite honestly, I don't think I would have ever gone had it not been that pressure.
Exactly. No, I think that's important for us. And girlfriends, it's important for you. And even for those of you who like Brandis and I mean, when I left the position that I was in, I was, one female amongst many males in my position. And I spent a lot of time in my position having client conversations with high net worth individuals that were white males. I am a young black girl, and I'm talking to men who are 50s and 60s and so forth. Lots and lots of money, lots of power, lots of influence. And so for me, sometimes I would go through these insecure moments where I would tell myself, I'm a young black girl. Like, are they really going to listen to me? And then I would try to dress in suits that made me look puffy. And when I'm a pencil skirt girl all day pencil skirt. I love to rock something curvy, but I would put on something that implied power, that did not imply power for me, but meant power for them, or I would try to...
Or you thought it meant power for them.
It did not equal power. And I would put on something, to mask my figure so that guys wouldn't see my figure and get... You know how men can be, and I was trying to make myself as dulled down as possible, pull my hair back, earrings be stud. I mean, just things that were not in my nature, And after a while, I got tired of myself. I'm like, who are you shopping for? Who are you dressing for? This is not who you are. And I had to bust through the seams and really, really turn everything about who I was around at that point in terms of tapping into myself. And we have solutions for you that we're going to go through. But before we go there, we need to let them know what feminine does and does not equal, right?
I was going to say, before we even get into that, me and Sybil were talking when we thought about this, when we were talking about the episode, the woman, Bowles, or Boss.
Zoma St. John.
Yes, and how
her work.
And how she's at Apple Music and is the boss over there, and will show up to a presentation with her big, beautiful hair and her cute dress on, and she's
red lips,
and all her femininity.
Yeah, total femininity. She always
and
shows
kills
up.
it.
And part of the power, part of celebrating the quality of who you are, is always having that presence.
Yes,
she walks in it. But one thing that I think, if you're ready, Brandis, we can tap into the first thing that we need every single woman to know is that feminine does not equal weak.
It does not equal weak.
Even if you've ever been victimized, if you've ever been taken advantage of, if you've ever had someone abuse your femininity, it wasn't because you're weak. It was because they were weak.
Right.
So your feminine does not equal weak.
Femininity does
not equal weakness. In fact, it equals strength when you understand the quality behind it.
Absolutely.
That's number one.
Absolutely. And number two, we just want you guys to know that it is not, being feminine is not giving over control to anyone. You're not giving over control because you're being feminine. You're not, femininity doesn't put you in that seat of, whatever happens to me happens, or I'm just going to be a yes woman.
Right. I think when you understand the quality of who you are as a woman, it puts you in control. It gives you the ability to say, I have strength in a more right?
Absolutely.
So I'm able to use the things that are given to me as power, be it my looks, my figure, my smile, my confidence, my emotional health, my perspective on the world, my ability to see the world in a more compassionate way, or whatever it is that gives you that unique identity. It's understanding that is the allure of your strength. It's different. So it's not about giving up control. It is your control.
It is absolutely your control.
And number 3, feminine or femininity says that all that I am qualifies me to stand as who I am.
Absolutely.
I'm standing here as a woman because there are so many unique, amazing, dynamic attributes, so many qualities that I celebrate when I show up and when I'm present, that allow me to be here and be who I am. And it gives me the ability to be Sybil, to Brandis, you to be Brandis, and whomever is listening, Bazoma, to be Bazoma. There's so many great examples of women who say, all that I am qualifies me to be here and to stand as who I am.
And when we're confident in that, oh my God.
Game changer.
Game changer. When you walk through the door confident in your femininity, it is a game changer for the women in the room and for the men in the room.
Yes. I will say every single woman, if you go back over each one of our podcasts that we've had guests on, every single woman that has been on our podcast has a unique femininity that qualifies them to stand as who they are. And I think it's so beautiful because I'm now going through my head and looking at Tiffany the Budgetnista versus Tiffany Warren versus Ty versus Ebby versus Lisa Price versus Heather Lindsay versus Jennifer Campbell and Purnell. And as I go through more and more the different guests, they're each so different.
So different.
So feminine, so strong, so beautiful, so amazing, and so prepared and qualified.
Absolutely.
And I think that we each learn how to tap into it in our own way. I am not like Ty. You are not like Ty.
Nope.
Ty is like Ty.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not like Tiffany. You're not like Tiffany. Tiffany's like Tiffany.
Right.
And each one of us has a unique way of doing it. So the questions that you should be asking yourself, we came up with these 4 questions that we think will help you to explore. And before we give you your solutions, we want you to ask yourself question number 1. Well, it's kind of 1 A and B, but what is your inner pink? We all have an inner pink. Isn't that something?
I love that.
Some girls will say, I don't have a pink. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
We have a, what's the light, fluttery side of you that puts you, that you put on reserve and that no one sees? But what's that dainty, what's that lighthearted, airy, fluttery, flirty, jittery side that just, gives people butterflies about you? What is that side? What is that? For me, I'm super, it sounds crazy, no one will believe it, but I'm a very bashful person. Very, very bashful. I have I'm an extroverted introvert, so I have a lot of personality, but I tuck away a lot. I tuck away, this, and when I tuck away, I'm on lockdown. But I found my inner pink, and my inner pink is like this really flirty side that I have with Kwaku, and this side of me that allows me to just show a little simple piece of myself that he's able to tap into. And when we connect right there, that pink shows up and it warms us both up.
Yay, that's so sweet.
It is. Kwaku got that pink, girl. He got that pink.
I love it.
We connect with Kwaku, with everyone. I'm allowed to find a soft side that I can just tap into with people and show love. Love is my pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next question is, what does the little girl inside of you love? Like, how we forget sometimes the things that we loved as little girls.
Yeah.
Sometimes we completely forget it. And for me, one of the things I loved was clothes.
Yeah.
And I used to love to design my clothes. I loved it. Like when I would go to Hancock's, pick out patterns, help my mom pick and would decide kind of what went on what. And it was just one of those things that I loved. And even as a teenager, I would buy like really cheap shoes and I would stud them out. It's not something it's not something I do as much now, but I should consider it. Like redesign my shoes, like just kind of getting in touch with that side of me that gave me so much joy as a little girl growing up.
And Brandis, why did we kill her?
I don't know why we kill her.
How do we? Why can't she come along?
You know what? I think sometimes we say we don't have time for her.
She absolutely has a place in the woman's world.
She does, but we feel like we don't have time for her.
She's that, when we said pursue a light heart in episode, I want to say it was 56, but when we talk about pursuing a light heart, the little girl carries the light heart.
Yeah.
You know, and she's the one, the little girl on the inside is the one who deserves to have the freedom to lift us up and to give us, you know, a simple moment of joy. You know what I mean?
And sometimes that gives us cues into our calling. Chris Keys, I remember her telling me that when she was younger, Chris Keys is an illustrator. She's based in London, is doing really awesome things. But she told me that when she was a little girl, she drew all the time. And then she stopped drawing. And then she moved to New York and started back drawing. Her drawings were horrible. And I can attest to the fact, I don't want to say they're horrible, but they weren't great. And she had to hone that skill again. And now, literally, she has a profession where she makes beautiful illustrations and beautiful paintings. But it was always in her as a little girl. She had just forgotten about it.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that something? So number 3 is, who is the girl inside of you? Do you know her? You need to get to know her. You need to understand who she is. The little girl inside of me loves to laugh. I'm a complete prankster. I prank today. I will forever be a prankster. I love just to have days where I'm spending. I like to keep things very simple. The little girl inside of me does not like drama. She will not surround herself with it. The little girl in me likes to play with puzzles, and I do those things. Aside from my kids, I play puzzles on my own. I found who she is, and I connect with her, and it allows for me to have a much better quality of life. And if I had just put her to the side and killed her and said that she has no value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we talked about neglecting the little girl, so why don't we go right into the 5 ways to tap into your femininity? Can I take number 1?
Oh, go for it. Go, girl.
So, number 1 is be vulnerable.
Come on, y'all.
Oh, guys, you know how much we struggle as women with being vulnerable. Oh my goodness, because we don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
What if we're vulnerable and they don't respond the way that we want them to respond?
Yeah.
What if we're vulnerable and it kills the perception that we built up for ourselves? The perception that we think people have of us. If we're vulnerable, then they won't think that we can actually run this.
Yeah.
They don't think that we can manage this if we're vulnerable.
And I want to say, Brandis, by definition, vulnerability is negative. But when we put the right perspective on the word vulnerability and saying that I'm yielding some of my emotional advantage to someone else, or I'm yielding trust to someone else, or I'm offering more of myself in exchange for a greater relationship with a person or greater outcomes, it gives us a really good way to understand that you're susceptible. As much as you're susceptible to bad, you're susceptible to good.
Yes. And it's okay.
It's okay.
And it feels good after a while. It takes some practice, but it feels good after a while. And the other thing is with vulnerability is that you just don't know what's going to come from that.
Right.
Vulnerability sometimes yields some of the best results ever because you're actually being honest about what you need and what you want and how you feel.
If you even look at us and being vulnerable in this podcast and making ourselves susceptible to criticism and opinions of people and all that stuff, by us doing this podcast, it's opened so many doors of advantage for us because we've decided that no one will compromise our heart and our intention around what we're doing. So when we're vulnerable, it's because we want to give advantage. And we want to give people access to us, knowing that they could potentially hurt us, but making the decision that no harm will come to us that'll keep us from trying again and again and again to be vulnerable with the right people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Be vulnerable, girlfriends. That's a huge one. And Brandis and I are doing some coaching around vulnerability. So if you want to get some coaching on that, you can email us at thegreatgirlfriends@gmail.com. And we dive a lot deeper into that. And we'll probably do something on that a little later, too, on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Number 2 is identify with your emotions and pamper yourself. I think it's so important for us to say how we feel. to be able to acknowledge it and be honest with it and say, I am feeling unhappy about this situation, or I'm feeling happy about this situation. It might sound silly to someone else who's very serious, but to me, some silly moments make me laugh, and I'm okay with that. It's okay for us to feel what we feel. We should not allow people to take our feelings from us.
Right. Or I'm angry about this.
I'm angry.
Because I feel like sometimes we're like, no, I'm not mad. You sitting over there, smoke coming out your ears, your face is red, and you're like, I'm not mad. Yeah. I ain't mad. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. It's okay. It's fine.
When we think in traditional sense, Brand, it's about how we pamper ourselves. There's a traditional sense in that we need to take care of ourselves and do our nails and make sure we're managing our grooming and feeling good and indulging our physical self. But on an emotional side, that pamper means indulge in your emotions.
Yes.
Indulge in them. I feel happy when I do the simplest things. I feel joy when I do this. I feel satisfaction. I feel beautiful when I do this. I feel, excited. It's okay. And I feel sad or I feel scared. It's okay for us to feel these things and not let anyone take them from us or challenge our emotions. You can't tell me how to feel.
You cannot tell me how to feel.
And I'm going to be vulnerable enough to say in this moment, I feel dissatisfied. I feel like I'm being overlooked. I feel like you've disqualified me based off of something. It's okay for us to approach those emotions with maturity and perspective without thinking that, or without caring whether or not someone says we're emotionally immature or we're not, we're not prepared enough to handle a bigger job or a greater responsibility. If we find fault in small things, we need to acknowledge it, because if we keep trying to shelf it, we're neglecting. And the more we neglect, the more mask we put on.
Yeah.
The mask we put on, the less vulnerable we are, excuse me, girlfriends, and the less feminine we are.
And the less attractive we are to be around.
Okay.
Because the worst thing is being around someone who is totally neglecting how they feel, and they feel a certain way and they're pretending that they don't.
Seriously. No one can really get to you. We can't connect with you. Your girlfriends can't connect with you. People don't really get the authentic sides of you that they deserve and that you deserve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And number 3 is dressing your part.
Yes. Come on, skirts.
And that could mean, again, it's different for every person.
Yeah.
Right? It's very different for every person. For me, if I put on the right pair of shorts, because y'all know I got some cute legs, right?
Did she just do that?
I did.
Celebrate the quality of her femininity. Work it, Brandis. Work. Brandis got legs, y'all.
These are Kaya legs, girl. They go back to my grandmama.
I love it.
Oh, but when I put on the right shorts and heels, you can't tell me nothing.
Yes.
But no, seriously though, it really makes me feel a certain way. There are certain times I put on certain things and I just honestly don't feel very feminine.
Yeah.
But there are other times when I wear other things and I'm like, like my lipstick, my lip gloss, for example. That makes me feel feminine. So sometimes it is the outer. Sometimes it's going to get your nails done, your feet done. It's, it could be very different. Getting your hair done. I know some women in the South, in Memphis, that's going to be at that salon every single week.
That's right. Saturday at 8.
Saturday at 8 o'clock. Every week. But whatever that is for you, and again, it can be very different for different people, but I can only speak from my own perspective. And the right dress. Oh, my long polka dot dress from Ruben Ruel.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. The other dress I wore when I was twirling on your deck.
Yeah. I love that dress.
There are just certain things that I'm just like, this right here.
Isn't it cool that you're able to say, I'm a grown woman and I'm about to twirl in this dress?
Yes.
Enjoy it. And that's the thing, girlfriends. When we're dressing our part, we're dressing for us.
For no one else.
Me.
Right.
And other people get to enjoy it, but no one can enjoy it more than me.
No.
I need to dress and be like, yes, Sybil, that is it. You're
yes.
I have on this romper today, y'all. I got this thing for $10. This romper makes me feel like $1,000,000.
Let me see this romper.
Okay, hold on. Y'all, I gotta stand up so she can see.
Oh, that's so cute.
Cute? It is so cute. It's my happiest summer romper. And it just makes me feel so light and fluttery and flirty and fun. And
so you need to take. You know we need to put this in the show notes, right? We can't. I can't see you. You got to have somebody take a picture of you in it and put it in the show notes.
I'll have somebody take a picture. But what was a simple errand today turned into a date afternoon because of my fluttery happiness and feeling so cute in my romper. My husband was like, "Let me take you to lunch." Yes, you can. You sure can. My femininity got me a meal, y'all. Come on.
I love it.
So dress for you. Okay. Number 4 is be unapologetic for being woman. Women, stop saying sorry. We gotta stop that. Stop apologizing.
I ain't sorry.
Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing and making it seem that we're inferior because we think and feel and exist in a certain way. Stop apologizing for it.
Yes.
This world has to take note when you come in the room. When they see you, they're supposed to be struck by your beauty, your strength, your intelligence,
your confidence,
your persona, your scent, everything about you. Stop tucking and turning, tucking and diving and shunning yourself and minimizing all this greatness. Let's stop that.
And you don't have to wait, because we as women, we say, you know what? When I get a certain size, this is what I'm going to dress like. This is what I'm going to wear. You don't have to wait.
No. And I'm telling you, there is no better time than now to pull out your lipstick from your desk. I don't care if it's 4:00 in the afternoon and work is about to be over and people gonna look at you strange because you got a fresh lipstick on. I don't care if you want to pull your hair up in a ponytail, if you want to turn your music up and dance in your office. Stop apologizing. Do what you know is essential to making you feel amazing as a woman.
And sometimes, Sybil, some office cultures, because I had an office culture like this, everybody was super casual, right? So when I came in something that made me feel absolutely amazing, they would say, "Oh, where are you going? You got an interview? What's going on with you? Where are you going after?" All this chatter, right? And I literally had to get to a place where I actually made that my norm so that I wouldn't have to hear the chatter.
Yes. Shouldn't every day be the day?
Every day should be the day.
Shouldn't they be on their toes?
Every day should be the day.
I like the idea that my husband I need to go out with you. Yes, you should stay close because I'm out in these heels and I got this skirt on, and I like the idea that he feels like I need to be close to you, girl. Yes. Or people in the office are like, we need to make sure we treat her right.
Right.
That's right. Because she's looking like she's going somewhere.
Exactly.
And we need to stop turning it off and turn it up.
Turn it up.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Make it very loud, make it very clear and prominent who we are as women and feminine women, and celebrate our qualities. I'm sorry, I could preach on that one. Number 5.
I love it. And number 5 is we have to learn when to fall back. So when we talked about this, we said, especially for single women, and then married women, we had an aha moment.
Yes, we did.
And we said, shucks, this might apply more to married women. So learning when to fall back. Guys, we don't always have to control the ship. We don't always have to control how fast he goes, where we go, how we get there. Sometimes we can honestly sit back and let someone else lead and be okay with that.
That's right.
We don't have to know steps 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 100. We don't have to know that. Some of us are like, no, I need to know, because I need to know how to dress. I need to know, how I want to do my hair. We don't need to know all the times. No. Just show up as your best self.
Show up as your best self.
And just fall back. Every now and again, especially in a marriage, guys, sometimes we take on these roles. And yesterday was a prime example for me. We got up. We were so late leaving for church. I'm talking about so late, okay? So we get there, And Rich was like, well, let me just turn on the live stream to see where they are in the service. So we outside the church turning on the live stream, right? And girl, they were at the invitational. So we were like, okay, too late for this. And honestly, I was so angry. I was sitting there and I was piping hot. Now, I could have gotten up earlier too. But I felt like, I had to get up. I had to get the baby ready, all this stuff. And something told me, Brandis, just lay back. And so Rich was like, what next? And I said, you decide.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me because I had a lot of things that I wanted to say next. But he was like, I said, you decide.
Yeah.
And I could feel his wheels turning. And he was like, okay, maybe we'll go to my mom's church. And I said, okay. Knowing that we were way too late for that too. But I said, okay. We got to Eastern Parkway. And he was like, I think it might be a little too late for that. I think it's just not going to be right for us to go there this late. He was like, what do you think? Brooklyn Tabernacle or Christ Tabernacle? And I said, Christ Tabernacle. He said, okay. So, and when we got there and the service was absolutely incredible, like so amazing, exactly what we needed. But I just think, honestly, that wouldn't have what I would have initially said is what next. I probably was going to say brunch. But, because I kind of laid back and fell back in this instance, I end up getting blessed in a way that I hadn't intended on being blessed.
Wow. See? And it's that learning. It can even be, Brandis, when it comes time to plan a girls' trip and you got all these chiefs. And
oh my God.
And it's like, be vulnerable to your friend's plan. Trust, fall back. Understand that other people can have control without you always having to have the power and control and fear of being taken advantage of and not wanting your ideas to be heard. Learning when, at the job, learning when to fall back and when to step up. It is a very delicate dance, but when we get that thing right, when we start learning the chemistry and when we identify with ourselves enough, we become so connected that we can be in sync with any scenario and know when to step in and when to fall back. Step in and fall back so that we're not overpowering and being overbearing and dominant and showing this ugly controlling side that people don't even have to know when we just learn how to rest in that femininity and let our instincts tell us when it's time for us to step in.
Right. Because we be on ready.
We stay ready.
We don't need to stay on ready, y'all. All the time? Staying on ready all the time?
My gosh, we're like military guards. Like,
I know people who are on ready. They got the gun. It's up in the air. It's loaded. Fingers on the trigger.
Yep.
At any time.
Yeah. And we got to turn that thing down, ladies. We got to dial that back. We have to cultivate more of an allure, of an elegance, of a sensuality that comes with who we are and how we flow. I mean, I'm a very big supporter of Beyonce and her work ethic, right? I'm not necessarily Beehive, but I have a great respect for the way this girl works. I love how she can turn it up, she can turn it down, she can smooth it out, she can rough it up. She's found a balance in identifying with these different sides of who she is and being okay with the allure and being okay with the strength, all the different angles, the qualities. And I think that's what we have to locate. Not everyone. You don't need to have your inner Beyonce. Who is your inner Alicia? Who is your inner Sybil? Your inner Brandis? Like, what are those qualities? We have to be able to really pull them in and pull them out and charge them up at the right time.
Yes.
Charge them up at the right time, because we see these other women doing it and we're like, look at how she does that. And we stand in awe of it almost. But what about ours?
Yeah, Michelle Obama. Look at Michelle Obama.
Come on.
That woman got a balance.
Even like a Meryl Streep as an actress and as a woman. And who has found her position in this industry and has her own level of dominance, but she does it with such a quiet strength and force that it makes it such a model for budding actresses who want to have a long, sustainable career. So I just, hopefully you guys have gotten something amazing. Your paper should be full, because Brandis be spitting that good
Still will be spitting that.
Man, seriously. I'm saying, girlfriends, and definitely join our Facebook group because the discussion continues from there. I'm going to pull up really quickly from episode 57, Learning How to Celebrate Closed Doors. Kristen Polk put a beautiful post in our Great Girlfriend group on Facebook. Again, Great Girlfriend group on Facebook. And I am pulling it up right now, but she tapped in, y'all. So we talked about learning to celebrate closed doors. And here it is. Kristen said, I'm celebrating a door that closed 7 years ago. And I'm going to paraphrase this. The door being bolted shut changed the course of my life. March 2009, I made a decision to cut off all communication with the guy that I had dated off and on for close to 8 years. He was my first real college boyfriend, and we continued our relationship into adulthood. There came a point to where we were at a crossroad. He moved to St. Louis, and I moved to New York, and neither of us were moving to where the other lived. I'd been in several long-distance relationships, and one thing I know for sure is that long distance must have an expiration date. We didn't have one, but we continued to carry on our relationship. After seeing other people, then seeing each other, and still no real plans to move forward, I made a tough decision to cut all ties. No more visits, communication, etc. It was time for me to move on for real. We all know that moment. We had a tough conversation, and that was it, so I thought. So then after they cut it off, she goes forward. After a couple months after severing ties, I started having doubts. Ladies, you know those thoughts began. Did I make the right decision? Was that too harsh? But what if? My mind was bombarded with them. That's that closed door when you're sweeping outside.
Yeah.
Episode 57, you guys got to listen. Everything changed. She says in May of 2009, two months later, she was trying out a new hair salon. She took the subway, didn't really know the subway stop how to get there. She took one exit from the subway stop. It led her down a wrong street. As she was walking, she passed a man and a woman sitting outside a cafe. Net of it is, she caught eyes of the lady. She kept walking, and she knew the shoulders of the man, the head and shoulders of the man that the lady was sitting with. She was sitting across from the guy. By the time she got to the corner, her heart was racing out of her chest. She realized she had gone the wrong way, but God gave her eyes to see this man that she was so attached to sitting with another woman in a cafe. Oh my gosh. Wow. I prayed to God, what do I do? And he said, go in the other direction. So I walked back and tapped him on the shoulder. He looked around as if he had seen a ghost. She said, I politely reached over to him, shook the woman's hand he was with. She had no idea who I was. He and I exchanged some words like we were old acquaintances. Not two people who had been in an ongoing relationship for almost a decade. And net of it is, he mouthed to her at the end, I'll call you. She said, truth is, he had moved on and I needed to do the same. When I walked away, I had no more doubts. God had moved heaven and earth to make it clear that I didn't need to doubt. He had closed that door. 2 months later, she met Richard, and here she is happily ever after. These are the type of conversations. And Kristen Pope, thank you for sharing that in the Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. But these are the type of conversations we're having as we start celebrating victories and reflecting on victories that we've had as a result of making these great decisions. So I'm sure that the testimonials from Femininity are going to come flooding in, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, hubbies, Kwaku, we thank you. We love you.
Thank you, Rich Daniel.
Yes.
I love you, babe.
Our families, we thank you so much. You guys are so fantastic. I know you got to go pick up Sky in a few minutes, right?
And you got to pick up Sam, right?
I know. We got football practice.
We both late.
We got to go get these kids, y'all. But to all of our girlfriends, we thank you so much for allowing us to be your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter. Make sure you check us out on social. We're on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends.
We're on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
Twitter,
_great GFS.
And make sure you head over to our website at thegreatgirlfriends.com. Be sure to listen to us either on iTunes, where you're going to place your review. We're almost close to 50.
Woo!
Goal. We're so excited. Make sure you check us out on iTunes, Podcast Republic, Stitcher, Blueberry, Podcast Bean, and any other podcast service.
Yeah.
Be sure to go online and post your questions. Share with your friends.
Keep listening.
And
keep being a great girlfriend.
I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandis.
And we're signing off.
And we love you guys.
Yes, peace.